welcome to today's video. So for this video I thought I would do another top 10 video, and I thought I would do my top 10 primers. As I've said, skincare for me is a big deal, especially when it comes to makeup, and I highly believe in having a skincare routine, and skincare for me is right up there in terms of what I'm passionate about and importance. So I think that primers kind of go quite well with skincare, purely because you can kind of choose primers compared to what your needs are, and they also help create a flawless base, which, as I've also said before, is the main priority for me when it comes to makeup. And I just feel that yeah, you can get primers to help with different skincare needs, and also they make a big difference, I feel, if you choose the right one, to the way that your skin looks after makeup application. Some good ones can make a big difference to how your overall makeup looks. Some are drugstore, some are high end, and some are dewy and some are matte. So as I said, I have combination skin, my oily areas being middle of my forehead, around my nose and my chin. So I do have to watch out for that, but obviously I also love having a dewy finish. So let's get started. Okay, so first up I'm going to start with dewy highlighters. So highlighters that give a radiant and dewy finish. So this product is the same product but a different like shade, but I thought I would do it into two products because I love them both separately. So this is the MAC Strobe Cream, and this one is in the shade Gold Light. So this is probably my favourite out the two, purely because I like quite a bronzy finish with my makeup, and this really helps to do that. So yeah, I love this one because it's really light, so it gives a really kind of nice feeling to the skin. It doesn't feel too heavy, doesn't feel greasy, anything like that, but also it gives a really nice radiant glow, and it goes really perfect with foundations. It's a really nice one to just give kind of like a nice glow, and you can build it up if you want more of an intense glow, or also wear it on its own if you just want a radiant look to your skin. And yeah, I really like this one. And then the second one, which I opt for a bit less, but this was the original one that I had, and then I went for the Gold Light one because I found out about it. But this is the MAC Strobe Cream in the shade, I think this one's the Pink Light, but this is actually the original Strobe Cream. So yeah, as I say, I love this for all the same reasons. The only reason that I opt for this one slightly more is because, as I say, it has a bit more of a golden finish, whereas this one is kind of a pearly finish. But I really do love the two, and yeah, obviously I like it for the same reasons as this one, but it's just really nice and easy to pop on. I usually apply it with like a stippling brush and put it all over my face, and a bit more intense on my cheekbones. But yeah, I really like these. They're really lightweight, really handy for a primer, and they just look really gorgeous under foundation. Okay, so next up for a dewy primer, I quite like this one because I like this one when I want like a subtle glow, because I don't feel that this is very intense, but I do like it because I always like to wear primers, whether I'm going for dew finish or matte finish or whatever. I always like to wear primers under my foundation, it's just a personal preference. So yeah, this is a mini one because I haven't got the full size, but this is the Charlotte Tilbury Wonder Glow primer. And yeah, as I said, this does give quite a subtle finish because it's a beauty flash kind of balm primer. It's not really in your face, like it doesn't give a really intense glowy base, but it's just like a subtle glow. So I think this one is really nice to wear on its own when you're not wearing makeup, because I think it gives more of an effect. I can't always notice this really kind of vividly when I'm wearing foundation, but when I'm wearing it, when I've done my skincare and I'm not wearing makeup and I wear this, it does give a nice radiant effect to my skin. So I think you'll notice this more if you're wearing it alone rather than putting it on over foundation. But yeah, and I also really like this mini size. It's really handy to take with me. So like under foundation, it is really lightweight. So if you want to do that as well and you just don't want a really intense glow, then this is perfect. So next up for dewy kind of radiant primers, this is the L'Oreal Infallible Luminizing Primer. So this is what it looks like. I really love the packaging. And I have to say, this is a new product. So I haven't used this for very long, but I haven't stopped using it since I've tried it because I really like it. It gives such a gorgeous finish, and for a drugstore primer, this is insane. Like, it gives such a good glow, and I actually think it's quite similar to another one that I'm going to show you in a minute. But yeah, this is amazing. I think the price is so good, and it's kind of like a it's kind of like, I don't know if you can see that, but it is just insane. Like the glow it gives is just amazing. Like, it's quite on hand. When I first watched it, I was like, oh, I don't know, because I'm not the biggest fan of like pink highlights, so I wasn't really sure. But when you put it on the skin, it's not really pink at all. It's just really just glowy. But I love it because it is so kind of easy to blend and move around the face. It feels so soft, and it just blends perfectly into the skin, and it's just, again, it's really lightweight and doesn't look greasy or anything like that. It just makes you look dewy. Really lovely under a range of foundations. And yeah, I just think, I mean, it might be a bit intense for some people because it is quite intense. Like, I wouldn't wear it on its own, whereas the Wonder Glow by Charlotte Tilbury I would. I wouldn't wear this one on its own because it is very kind of glowy, but I really like it under foundation. So then next up, so this is the one that I was going to say is kind of a more expensive version of the L'Oreal one. The only difference being, one, I think this is maybe a bit more intense, and two, this one is kind of a bit more goldy. So this is the Becca Backlight Priming Filter, and this is what it looks like, and it just comes in with a pump. So it just looks like that. And I absolutely adore this. I love it. I used to use it all the time. As you can see, there's quite a lot gone. But I used to use this all the time because, as I say, it gives a really like nice golden bronzy glow. Again, I'm not sure I would wear this one on its own because it is very intense. But under foundation, it just glows through the foundation and gives a really gorgeous finish. And I really like the smell. I know it sounds a bit strange, but I really like the smell of this one. It just smells quite clean and just nice on the skin. Really creamy, makes the skin feel really soft and dewy. And yeah, I love this one. Just under, again, most foundations. Makes my skin feel like wet, and I love that feeling. Like, I love when my skin feels like tacky. Not tacky, but like wet and dewy, and then like I kind of let it sit for a minute and then put foundation on. And yeah, I think those kind of primers give a really dewy finish, which this does, and I have used this for a long time. And I kind of stopped for a little while, but I'm definitely back on it because I found it in my drawer and was like, oh, I used to love that. So I will definitely be continuing to use this. And yeah, I think if you want a really dewy kind of intense primer that's quite creamy, and it's not very lightweight, it is a bit heavier than some other primers, but if that's what you're looking for, then you will love this one. So then next up, this is kind of I think this gives quite a dewy finish. I was using this in the summer and I really liked how it looked under foundation, but again, I do wear this on its own because obviously it is a SPF, and I do wear it on its own whether I'm wearing makeup or not. But I found that under foundation I kind of used it as a primer because it does give a really dewy finish. So this is the Body Shop Skin Defense, and this has SPF 50, which I love that it has SPF 50 because obviously that's a good high SPF. And this has both UVA and UVB protection, which is also very important. And it's just it just comes in like a tube like this and just comes out. Very lightweight on the skin. For an SPF 50, it is very lightweight. and yeah, it comes out just white, but obviously it goes clear when you apply it to the skin. And again, I quite like the smell. It doesn't smell too SPF-y, if that makes sense. It is quite strong smell, but it doesn't smell too much like SPF. And yeah, again, I really like the packaging of this. It's just easy to squeeze out and it's not too big. And yeah, this is a winner for me because SPF, as I've said, is extremely important. And I just think this makes it really, really easy and is perfect for the summer. And I've used this a lot. I used it a lot in the summer, so we'll probably need a new one for this year. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's meant to be used as a primer, but I found that putting foundation over this, just like a kind of a thin layer, was really, really dewy. So love this one. So then next up, I have 3 matte primers that give kind of a matte finish and help with my oily areas. So I'm going to start with this one, and then the last two I'm going to show you are kind of similar. So I'm going to start with this one. So this is a new one. I used to use this all the time when I ran out, so I bought a new one, and I haven't actually gone back to it in a while. But again, I found it in my drawer the other day and I remembered how much I used to love it, so I will definitely, I'm sure, be going back to this one soon, as it's been a favourite with lots of people. So this is the Benefit Professional Primer, and this is what it looks like, and it just comes out kind of like a beige kind of I don't know how to explain it. It's like beigey, creamy. So yeah, it's oil free and it's lightweight and translucent, and it has a very silky feel. So when you put it on, it makes your skin feel like silk. And yeah, it definitely minimises the appearance of pores, which is perfect. Obviously that's what you want in a matte primer. So, but what I love about this one is it does the job, so it minimises your pores, but it doesn't feel too heavy. It doesn't feel like it's kind of blocking all your pores. And also, it's not matte where it makes you look dull, so it doesn't make you look like you have no radiance or anything. It still makes your skin look like skin. And yeah, I just love this one because I, especially on those days where I feel a bit more oily than others, I really, really do like this one. And as I say, I haven't used it for ages, but I will be going back to it soon because I found it. And they've also just brought out a version of this, but a radiant version. So it's still the Professional, it still minimises your pores, but it's it has a radiant kind of pearly effect to it. So I'm really interested to try that. So maybe when I've gone back to this a bit, I might buy the other one and try it out. But yeah, I think that's a really good idea actually, because some people, I always say, like, just because you have oily skin or oily areas doesn't mean that you can't kind of have a glow and have like a dewy finish. Like if you want a glowy highlighted finish, then you should be able to get that regardless of your skin type, and your skin should always look like skin. Just because you have oily skin shouldn't make it look cakey or powdery or anything like that, because that's not fair. So yeah, there are lots of products out there that can help. I really like this one and I'm sure I'll be going back to it soon, but I thought I had to give it a mention because I used to use this every day for like a year. So okay, so next up on the mattifying primers. So this is a bit of a random one, but I had to mention it because it was so cheap and I really, really like it. I used to use it a lot and I kind of like go in and out of it now. This is the Sephora Smoothing Primer, and it's just quite small and it just kind of comes with a pump. So yeah, it's the smoothing primer and it smooths and mattifies, and I can honestly say it definitely does. I always apply it to my oily areas or even over my face, and my foundation blends seamlessly over it and glides on my skin. And it's got a very kind of silicone-y feel to it, so if you don't like that, you're not going to like this because it is basically like pure silicone how it feels. But I always feel that they work best for my oily areas, especially when they're quite oily. It isn't very easy to get over here because we don't have a Sephora. I don't know why. We should definitely have one by now. It just works really well and it was so cheap. So if you do go to a Sephora, then pick it up and see how you like it. But yeah, I love this one. And I just thought I'd mention it because I think it is really reasonably priced. So wanted to mention it in this video. And then next up for my last mattifying primer. So this is, I would say this one has the exact same feel as the Sephora one, but so it's very silicone-y, so again, if you don't like that feeling, then you won't like this. But I do feel that this does more, and it should, because it's very expensive and it is the complete other end of the price range spectrum. But I bought this back in November and I've used it pretty much every day and I adore it. This is the Murad Invisiblur Perfecting Shield, and this has SPF 30. So this treats, blurs and protects. As you can see, I've been using this since November and there hasn't been that much that has gone. I am a big fan of Murad. I really love their products. On my training, I was lucky enough to train with Murad products, and that was what we used for in our salon and in our exam and things like that. And I was a massive fan of Murad products, so it kind of introduced me to the brand, which I'm happy about because I love the brand. I have a good few products from there. It is quite pricey, but I do feel that it makes a really big difference to your skin because it is a cosmeceutical brand, so it has certain ingredients in it that will make a difference to your skin that other brands won't and don't have the ability to do that, or the ingredients that will do that. So yeah, I really like this one. So it treats, blurs and protects, and I can honestly say it does. So one of the reasons I love it again is because it's an SPF 30, so, and it really does protect your skin. So again, I love an SPF, and in the winter I think SPF 30 is okay to use a little bit less. And also I love the fact that it's the Invisiblur. So I love this one when I'm going through, as I say, I've been using this basically every day since November, but I love this one because if I have any breakouts or any areas that I'm not happy about, this really does blur them and it makes my skin feel so soft and smooth. And I'm so glad I found this because I also love the packaging. I think it's really cute and different. But I'm so glad I found this because I have just used it non-stop, whether I'm wearing makeup or not. Even if I'm not wearing makeup, I just apply it over as an extra step in my skincare routine now, and it just makes my skin look kind of smooth and my pores less visible, and just blurs any areas that I want blurring and helps me not get as shiny in certain areas. And also what I usually do is I usually use multiple primers. So I will use, say, the MAC Gold Light strobe cream on areas where I'm not oily, so areas where I'm normal, and I will kind of use it obviously loads on my cheekbones and then around my face, and then kind of here on my forehead, through here on my forehead, and then kind of the middle of my face, so my chin, kind of my upper lip, my nose and my kind of middle of my eyebrows. I will use the Murad Invisiblur because it is more mattifying, and I find that this really works for me because obviously the dewy areas, the normal areas can look dewy, and the shiny areas, the oily areas the shine can be kept under control, but I can still have that kind of dewy base, which I really love. So yeah, I am so glad I found this one, and don't think I will stop using this for a long time because I just feel like it also does good for my skin rather than just sitting there and doing nothing. So finally, this is not really a primer, but I use it as a primer either on top of other primers or just on its own, depending on what look I'm going for and how quickly I need to get ready. So I've mentioned this a lot. So this is the Mario Badescu facial spray. This one is my favourite. It is the rose water spray. So this is the big bottle, and it's so well priced. It's so cheap for how much you get. It lasts me a long time, and I use it literally for everything. So I think it's like £11 for the big bottle, which is crazy. It's so cheap. And I also have the cucumber one, which I love, but this is my favourite. I love the rose one. I use this to prime my face, or I use it to set my makeup sometimes if I just want a dewy finish and my makeup's not going to be on for that long. I use it in between pretty much every step, so especially after every powder step, like applying translucent powder or bronzer or blusher. I will do this between every single step, and it just brings my skin back to life, makes it look really dewy. And I just think to put on over primers or using it as a primer, it just makes your skin kind of look like skin and gives like a dewy fresh look under foundation, and I usually use this as well, again on no makeup days. After my skincare routine, I will apply this, and it just brings my skin back to life and gives it a bit of a glow, and I love it because it's so refreshing and just really is nice and cooling and just makes my skin feel really nice and fresh. So I love this one, and I don't think I will ever stop using this because it is so reasonable. You get so much in here. I literally use it for everything. You can use it to stamp in your beauty blender, use it to spray on your brushes to get more pigment for your highlight. And yeah, I just really love this one. That one in there because I do use it sometimes for a primer or over primers. So yeah, so that is my top 10 primers. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I would really love it if you did. So please subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more from me. I will also link my blog and everything else down below so you can check it out if you are interested. And I'll also link all the primers that I've mentioned down below so you can check them out, check the prices out, whatever, check the reviews, whatever you want to do. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon. Bye!